Halloween at the Disneyland Resort, layoffs and raises at Disneyland, our first look at the new DVC Lounge in Tomorrowland, and there's a new restaurant coming to downtown Disney. And I don't mean Earl's or Din Tai Fung or Porto's, a new restaurant. Well, not a restaurant, a dining location, a kiosk, Clydes Hot Chicken. And not coming soon, it's here now. You can find it next to the California churro and corn dog stands across from the Lego store in downtown Disney. Personally, I've never heard of Clydes Hot Chicken. Looks like they're a small chain, 5 locations, plus the one that just arrived at downtown Disney. And it's a sensible addition. Hot chicken is still very trendy right now, and I feel like Disney wants to get in on that. And it's the first new update to the shopping district since Disney made those announcements about Din Tai Fung and all the others about a year ago. To date, we know about Din Tai Fung, Paseo and Centrico, Earl's Sandwich, which is headed for the current dirt lot, and then Porto's, which is headed for where Earl's is located now, which actually used to be the former location of La Brea Bakery. It's all very confusing. And that's it so far. No word from Disney in terms of what retail shops might open in the area that's being developed, the dirt lot over there in the downtown Disney district, where development is on the verge of going vertical. But we do know at least that there will be a new stage for live entertainment, as we've seen in the concept art, and inside a wonderfully mid-century modern-looking scene. So I'm really looking forward to seeing all this come together. We've been talking about this for going on 2 years now, it seems like, and we're still a long way off. I feel like we're about a year away, more than a year away, from seeing the first phase of the new stuff happen. But this could be, another year after that before we see the rest of the stuff finished. But today, we get Clydes Hot Chicken. Now, I could also be convinced that there might be a future home for Clydes at the downtown Disney district when they're done, and that this kiosk is just to get people warmed up to the idea of there being something like Clydes or something like Hot Chicken in downtown Disney. But for now, all we've got is this new kiosk, and I'm looking forward to trying out. Stay tuned, actually, to Fresh Baked, because we're going to be testing. We're going to do a taste test there, obviously, very soon in a What's New at Disneyland video. And then also, stay tuned to Fresh Baked for our normal weekly updates on the development at downtown Disney. Things have been heating up there. There's a lot going on. Stay tuned for our construction update coming later this week. There's some interesting news coming out of downtown Disney. That's starting to heat up. It's starting to cook up. Lots of fun stuff happening in downtown Disney in the next year. For now, let's talk next about Halloween. Now, I know it's just April, but apparently we're in the halfway to Halloween portion of the year. And apparently that's something that Disney chooses to celebrate. They did it last year as well. Go to Disneyland right now and you can find some Halloween-themed treats just waiting for you. The Candy Palace on Main Street has the Mini Witch Apple, the Oogie Boogie Rice Krispie Treat, and the Jack Skellington Cake Pop. All 3 of these can be found also in California Adventure at Trolley Treats. In downtown Disney, you can find a Halloween churro covered in peanut butter, chocolate sauce, and topped with peanut butter candy pieces. That's at the California Churro Cart right next to Clydes Hot Chicken. Get yourself some hot chicken and then just slide right on over to California Churro and get yourself a Halloween churro. Or you could go to Kayla's Cakes at the other end of downtown Disney, where they have the Halloween jack-o'-lantern macaron with a fruit-flavored crisp rice cereal buttercream filling. And if you can't get into the park, if you don't have a reservation or whatever, or you just want to go to downtown Disney, but you're interested in those Halloween treats that I just mentioned, all 3 of those that we mentioned that were at the Candy Palace can be found at Marceline's in downtown Disney as well. Oh, and then nearby you can also find these spooky creations at Love Pop. They're Nightmare Before Christmas and Hocus Pocus themed paper bouquets. Meanwhile, Disney is using the halfway to Halloween celebration to update guests on their plans for the actual Halloween season, which is actually going to be here sooner than you might think. They closed the Haunted Mansion in mid-August to start working on the holiday overlay, the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay. And then that usually opens right around the 1st of September. And that's just 4 months from now. And by the way, we'll be seeing Halloween merch before that. You start seeing Halloween merch mid-August. As for the Halloween season, Disney also gave us a sneak peek at the new costumes for Mickey and Minnie coming up for the Halloween season. Last year's theme was that the costumes were all homemade by the Town Square Six. This year, the costumes will be luminescent sheer fabric ensembles that will give a ghostly glow. Plus cobwebs and bats. Mickey's bow tie and Minnie's ears are bats. And we'll have to be sure to check these out during the evenings at night, because I have a feeling I think they're using that term ghostly glow. Literally, there could be some sort of glowing element to these costumes. I hope so anyway, because that sounds like fun. And lastly, Disney has confirmed, to no one's surprise really, that Oogie Boogie Bash will return to California Adventure this year. No word yet on when tickets might go on sale or what the schedule might be, but I will remind everyone that this event sold out spectacularly last year, way quicker than it ever has in the past. We're talking by 4 or 5 months faster than they ever have. And word going around last year was that this was due to resellers. There was a sudden surge in resellers, people just scooping up tickets, when they first became available for sale, and then reselling them in the aftermarket. Now, I do recall Disney getting wind of this pretty quickly, and I do recall hearing stories of people who they were able to identify as having bought these tickets, these scalped tickets from third parties. They were not admitted to the event. They were not admitted into Oogie Boogie, and I have a feeling they were also able to trace some of that back to the originating sellers, which is not good. So take heed, Fresh Baked. Be ready to buy those tickets if you're interested in going quickly, if you're able to. Don't wait. You used to be able to be very casual about it, but don't wait. And also, please, don't buy tickets from third-party resellers. Don't buy them on eBay or from StubHub or wherever. Buy your tickets from Disney Direct only. Do not purchase tickets from scalpers, because it's going to end badly, or could end badly for you. Imagine paying all that money. By the way, they don't sell them. Scalpers don't sell them in retail. I promise you, you're going to have to pay a heck of a lot. Just be ready. Just be ready when the tickets drop. I will be there. Next, let's talk about some bad news and some good news with relation to Disney cast members. Bad news is that according to Bloomberg reports, Disney is set to make their next wave of layoffs as part of Iger's efforts to cut $5.5 billion. Disney is expected to lay off more than 7,000 cast members, and the next wave looks like, or sounds like, it's going to be about 15% of the overall entertainment division. Now, at this point, I will mention, for those keeping score, that these layoffs are not expected to include frontline cast members, which I know that's you and I take that very personally when we start talking about cast members on the ground in Disney parks. They are not expected to be affected by this. In fact, again, I feel like they're still shorthanded. Nor is it limited to frontline cast members, across the Disney company. High-paying executives have also fallen. We got the VP of production at Hulu, a VP of production and operations at Freeform, a VP of corporate communications at the Walt Disney Company, and even the chairman at Marvel Entertainment. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is that Disney security at Disney parks, Disneyland, just got a huge raise. Per the Orange County Register, roughly 1,700 security cast members at the Disneyland Resort are going to get an $8 an hour raise to the minimum wage over the course of the next 2 years. The first will be a $6 an hour raise that is effective now already, effective back in the beginning of April. And then they're going to get another $1 an hour raise this time next year, and another $1 after that in 2025, for a total of $8 an hour increase to the minimum wage by 2025, which would make the new total minimum wage for security cast $26 an hour, which also means prior to this raise, they were making $18 an hour, which that's not enough. I'm sorry to say, that's just not enough. So I'm very happy to hear that at least some segment of the Disneyland operation is being taken care of a little bit. And that segment, the security segment, appear to have much better representation, union representation, than the other cast members that are working on the ground inside the parks. Those cast working attractions, or the gift shops merchandise, or working in food service. They need better representation. So here's to hoping that the next wave of contract negotiations for those casts go as well as it did for the security cast. We're rooting for you guys very much. And with that, we've got our final story, our first look at the interiors for the new DVC Lounge that they've been building at Tomorrowland. Well, not building, updating. They've been updating the old Star Wars Launch Bay building, or the Innovations building, if you prefer, or the Carousel of Progress building, the one, back there in Tomorrowland. The top half of that building has been converted to a private lounge for Disney Vacation Club members, or DVC. Now, this lounge is similar to the one built at Epcot, where Disney offers a nice, quiet, air-conditioned space for DVC members to relax and enjoy a free beverage or two. They serve soft drinks, water, and coffee, or otherwise just find a comfortable place to sit. Chairs, couches, high-top tables. Take in the mid-century modern design that is so closely attributed to the opening of Disneyland in the 50s. And obviously, much of the inspiration for this space is derived from those years, specifically from Tomorrowland, and where Disney is working very hard to pay tribute to the park's beginnings. Wall-sized murals showing concept art from John Hench, Herb Ryman. Here's a little Mary Blair for you. This piece here is kind of wonderful. It's the DVC logo, the globe with the Mickey ears, but set behind that, in the background of that logo, is the Starburst that was part of the original WED Enterprises logo. WED was the entity that we now know today as Walt Disney Imagineering. I thought that was a really lovely touch. Also lovely is the wood paneling behind it. Again, very mid-century modern, as are these chairs and the geometric patterned carpet, or whatever you call this thing, or this. You really do get the feeling you traveled back to the 60s a bit while you're in the DVC Lounge. This piece I know. That's a suit worn by one of the Tomorrowland astronauts that were on the scene dating all the way back to the park opening in 1955. And this suit that is encased in glass is a park-worn suit. Cast wore that very suit in the park. And the casts that are on hand today will tell you also that Walt Disney himself put his hands on this very suit. And the suit's been around. It was in the Walt Disney Archives for a while. It spent some time at the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., and then Disney was able to intercept it while it was en route to its next destination so that they could put it here at the DVC Lounge in Tomorrowland. They with intent, they said, there's a piece that belongs in Tomorrowland at Disneyland. The DVC Lounge is a great place to keep that. I thank you for that, Disney. It's the perfect Disney artifact for what Disney's going for here. And it shows me that Disney has put more thought and care into the space than I might have thought. Oh, and then one final nice feature of the DVC Lounge is access to a seating area outside the lounge with some wonderful views of Tomorrowland. Fix your gaze on the old People Mover Station or Space Mountain, or look toward the Matterhorn and the Finding Nemo Lagoon. It was one of my favorite views back in the day, and I've really missed it ever since they closed the top part of the Innovations building. I haven't been up here since it was Marvel. Has there been anything up here since then? Which reminds me, the lower half of the building is pretty much still Star Wars launch bay. Remember when we could meet Darth Vader here? We can't do that anymore. So the Starview Station is better than I thought it would be. Nice design. Appreciated the artwork and the truly vintage astronaut suit. And then obviously the great view outside. All in all, a nice chance to break away from the hustle and bustle of standard everyday Disneyland. And really, it doesn't need to be anything more than that. The whole point of it is just to relax and sit, not to be overwhelmed with entertainment. And as it turns out, all of this is happening just in time for the new DVC villas that are opening at the Disneyland Hotel. The villas are set to open on September 28th with sales and bookings available on a variety of dates depending on how you're trying to book. Sales to existing members, for example, begin on May 2nd and then to the public on May 30th. Now, before you go, I've got a fun little challenge for you guys. This is going to be interesting. This video is an artist rendering of what the DVC villas will look like when they open. Now, pay special attention to the shots of the pool. See if you recognize anything in those scenes and then comment below. What you're looking for happens so fast you have to really pay attention. So if you think you know what I'm talking about, comment below, and then we'll give you our answer to what it is that you're supposed to be finding in our construction video coming tomorrow. Otherwise, that's our update for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Do stay tuned for more from Fresh Baked as we report on the news and all kinds of things on the regular basis. And then stay safe out there, guys. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.